All right. Hopefully everyone's having a great Wednesday night. We got a cold front pass through around 11:30 this morning in Corpus Christi, and it has cooled us off just a little bit. You know, it's not overly cold outside, but it's certainly also not 90 degrees the way it was yesterday afternoon. We had 90s for the first time in Corpus Christi on Tuesday, about a half a month ahead of schedule. So we're going to be a little bit cooler for the next several days, and we'll warm back up into the weekend, and we catch a little chance for some rain into the beginning of next week. We'll be talking about all of these things here on this live stream, wherever you're watching it from. If it is not 8:44, going on 8:45 in about 20 seconds, you're not watching this live. It is Wednesday, February the 28th, 2024, and again, just before 8:45 on Wednesday evening. So we'll pull up the weather graphics here. And this is just the temperature that we observed throughout the day in Corpus Christi, and very close to 70 degrees throughout the day, mid to upper 60s, low 70s all day long. The front came in between 11 and noon. Didn't see a huge shift in temperature, but we also didn't see temperatures warm into the afternoon. And now we're getting into the lower 60s here now that we're into the evening hours of the night. We got some pretty strong winds. 38 mile per hour gust. That was the max wind speed in the area. That was in Corpus Christi. And that, that's nearly tropical storm force. Low end tropical storm force would start at 39 miles per hour. So those north winds, they were howling. They were breezy, not overly strong. We've definitely had windier days, especially behind cold fronts. But it was breezy. And one thing, I don't have the graphic on here, but I was outside this morning around 9:30. We had this little prefrontal trough that blew through. So the winds turned to out of the north before the cold front arrived. I was outside, was doing something in the lawn, and could kind of smell a hint. It just kind of smelled like a grass fire, like just something burning. Faint. And what I think that was, and it's plausible that it was from the wildfires that have been burning in the Texas Panhandle, the smoke, some of that coming in on the north winds, and maybe detectable to some. I posted about it on Facebook, and a few people said they experienced the same thing, not only in Corpus Christi, but in places like San Antonio and Victoria too. So, just connecting some dots there with these north winds coming in. The gusts, it's still pretty breezy out, as much as 35 miles per hour on the wind speeds over in Flower Bluff at the Naval Air Station. Over 30 miles per hour on the winds in Rockport, Fulton right now. And the winds are steady. Just about everyone over 10 miles per hour. George West and Live Oak County starting to lighten up just a little bit, but up to 26 in Flower Bluff. So windier near the coast, not as windy inland, but still breezy right across the region. And on those winds, temperatures are cooling. So we're in the low 60s in Corpus Christi. It's 50 in Mathis. And that temperature gauge, thermometer there in Mathis, it's been running like 5 degrees cooler or so than the surrounding area. So I'm a little bit curious about the accuracy of the reporting station over in Mathis, but nonetheless, they're sending us 50 right now from Mathis. Everyone else around is in the mid to upper 50s, if not lower 60s. And it'll be a cool night of weather. We're going to see those temperatures fall into the 50s throughout the region overnight. We do have cloudy skies right now overhead. And I'm just going to look at the comments on, I just want to make sure we're not missing anything if there are any questions. But we are going to, I'll try to answer questions toward the end of the Facebook Live here. It's always good to have that interaction. And clouds, right? We've got clouds streaming in from the west. Still no rain falling at this point, but I do think that overnight some few areas of patchy light rain or drizzle will be possible. Kind of like it was this morning where it wasn't really measurable, but enough to dampen a few things. You know, you had to use the wipers maybe if you were driving around in the morning before the front came in. Things like that, where it's not accumulating rainfall, but enough to make things damp at times. This is how our futurecast modeling depicts that. You'll see as we progress through the overnight hours, the little blips of green that show up, and that's that, you know, light drizzle or patchy rain that is going to be possible into tomorrow morning. Temperatures will be cool. I think we're in the 50s area wide, low 50s inland, mid to upper 50s as you get closer to the coast. And the winds are still going to be breezy throughout the day tomorrow out of the northeast. So 10 to 20 on the wind speeds, and temperatures are going to stay cool. Under the clouds, it'll be overcast. We stay in the middle to upper 50s throughout the day Thursday. Again, a minuscule little light patchy rain or drizzle. That'll be possible throughout the day, but it's not going to be heavy rain, not going to be moderate rain, just a few little blips on the radar for rainfall tomorrow. And again, the wind pretty steady, so that 55 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, wind's going to have some bite to it coming in out of the northeast, 15 miles per hour or so. And we're going to get a few more miles out of our winter wear, wardrobe, outfits, clothing, whatever. It'll be cool in the morning. So the sweater weather forecast is showing the forecast air temperature at 7 o'clock in the morning in Corpus Christi. This isn't afternoon highs or anything like that, but my threshold for sweater weather is below 60. If we're in the 50s or lower, okay, we'll call it sweater weather. 60 and above, that's when I don't go there. So we take the sweaters off the line on the graphic by the time we get to Sunday morning, low 60s at that point. But the coolest part of the next 5 to 7 days looks like Friday morning, briefly getting into the upper 40s. And that's also the first day of March. So still cool. We're not done with the cold fronts yet. We still will have more of them. Typically, we start seeing them less frequently in March and April. So the frequency of the fronts, you know, instead of once a week, once every 4 or 5 days, March, maybe it's once every week and a half. April, maybe it's once every 2 weeks. And then by the time we get to May, you know, may catch one at the beginning of the month. And, you know, after that, it gets kind of difficult to get the fronts this far south. So they'll start to become weaker and less numerous, but we still will get them, you know, as late as early to mid-May. I can remember Buck Days parades where it's nice and cool and crisp out because we had a front, it's early May, and it's nice out. So June comes around, forget it. That's it. We're off to the heat and monotony. But all right, we've been vamping on the sweater weather for a few minutes now. And know that sweater's not for sale yet. I want to make one. I want to make something like that. I'll have to come up with a design. Oh my gosh, the LexCam's frozen. That's definitely not what's happening right now. But it's 62 out, so LexCam's frozen. It's definitely dark outside. We'll get off that graphic. Right now, again, cloudy. The system that brought the cold front, the engine, if you will, driving it is way up north. It's in Canada, north of now the Great Lakes. And stemming to the south of that low is the front that came through this morning. That front is now pushing off the eastern coastline. Lots of rain out there, basically from like Savannah, Georgia, all the way up through New England. You know, Georgia getting some rain, even northern Florida. out of that system. We've got some light showers in central Texas, but nothing in South Texas at this time. We will see the light patchy stuff start to develop overnight and into tomorrow morning. And we'll also see something called a coastal low develop. Nothing really special about that, but it's called coastal low because it's a little surface low that develops near the coast, right? That's in essence what this is. But when they're close to us, we tend to see more clouds. And when they're offshore like this, we tend to keep northeasterly winds pretty consistent. And that'll be the case tomorrow. You know, I'm confident that we have a cool day of weather tomorrow. There may be a few spots that get into the low 60s, but I think for the most part, we spend Thursday in the 50s here because of this coastal low reinforcing this front. So we're still going to have northeast winds coming in around that low. You know, it spins things counterclockwise around it, and that, because of our position and relationship to it, gives us the northeasterly flow. Low pressure always is conducive for rising air, so you get better lift with lower pressure, right? There's less pressure sitting on top of the atmosphere, so you have air that's more willing to rise, and that's why we'll have the little chance for the patchy light rain or drizzle in play on Thursday. Friday, this is the part of the forecast where this coastal low kind of gets away from us. It moves up toward Louisiana. I still think that we're going to be under its influence, so to speak, because the winds will still be out of the northeast. And I will say that a forecast like this is something that over the years, you know, I've been burned by, because as these things leave, I'll be like, okay, we're going to be done with this. Things warm up pretty quickly. We get into sunny skies and it gets nice, blah, blah, blah. So a couple of things here into Friday, right? We're still going to have northeasterly winds around this low, and we're still, I think, going to be under mostly cloudy skies for a lot of the coastal bend. So just those two things alone, given the air mass that we're in, it's not going to get warm, right? So Thursday won't be warm. Friday morning won't be warm. And with the clouds over us on Friday, there's not a whole lot of opportunity, given the northeasterly winds that are still forecast to be with us, to get out of this cooler air mass. So because of all those things, I think we're going to stay cooler than a lot of the forecast models are advertising. A lot of them send us up into the low 70s here on Friday afternoon. And that very, very well could happen if the clouds break up and we get sunshine. That's it. The temperatures are going to warm. We're not going to stay socked in under the clouds. But if the clouds stay stubborn, again, I think Friday could be kind of a sneaky cool day. It won't be as cool as Thursday, but just given those things, I think Friday will be, you know, a mid to low 60s type of day on Friday. I don't think we get to the 70s unless the sun breaks out early, you know, if the sun comes out and it's 3, 4 in the afternoon, we're going to get up there. We're going to start to see those temperatures warm. Regardless, by the weekend, this thing does get out of here. We'll get into this blend of sun and clouds mode, highs up near 80 for the weekend. And this weekend looks a lot milder. Saturday's Texas Independence Day for all you cowboy hat wearing Texans out there. It should be a nice day of weather. Weekend looks pretty good. I don't think we've got any issue with the weekend weather. Here's the temperature outlook. You see the two cooler days, Thursday, Friday. And again, Friday, if the sun breaks out, we're going to be warmer than 62. That 62 is basically me saying I think we're going to stay mostly cloudy on Friday. Then we're back up to around 80. The nights aren't as cool, a little more humidity through the weekend and into next week. And next week, we'll have a little chance for more rain. Aloha. I said that on the news earlier. I thought it was funny because we're looking at Hawaii, right? Why are we looking at Hawaii? We typically don't look this far out into the Pacific Ocean, but This next opportunity for some rain in Texas isn't that far away. 5 days out, I was doing calculation in my head. 5 days away, Monday night, I think, is when we're going to see this chance for some rain here. So this is the energy that we're looking at. And it's out near Hawaii. This is some 4,500 miles away. It's pretty far. But we're able to track this. So I'm just showing you where we're looking to spot our next chance for rain here. There it is into the Pacific, the Baja over Mexico. And by Monday night, that energy will be passing through Texas. Now, will this be coming directly at us? Will it be a little farther north? Will it be farther south? That's to be determined, which is, that's generally the way these longer range outlooks go. But the timing looks like sometime early next week, Monday night, Tuesday morning. And wherever that energy goes, if it were something like this, we'd see a pretty good chance for rain. But we're still 5 days away, so not really ready to go all in there yet. Nonetheless, I do have it in the forecast, scattered activity at this point. And the Thursday, Friday rain chance, I've got isolated to widely scattered stuff in play. That's more of an acknowledgement that light, patchy rain or drizzle will be possible. This is not going to be really accumulating type rainfall Thursday and Friday. But I do think we have, some showers, very light, in the area. So tonight, going back to the short term, 50s for a lot of people. Maybe some upper 40s sprinkled in there between towns. I got mid 50s in Corpus Christi early tomorrow morning, mid to upper 50s near the coast. Steady northeast wind 10 to 20. This is a fun one. I like this graphic. Laying it out. Little play on words there. Cool tomorrow, right? I've got the hoodie. I put the jeans out on the bed. I've got the Channel 3 pillowcases. For me, it's going to be hoodie and shorts. I'm going hoodie and shorts tomorrow, but I think a little sweater and jeans would be very appropriate for tomorrow's clothing. Steady northeast breeze, little spitting rain from time to time. It's going to be a cool day of weather. There's the Corpus Christi overnight low, a little drizzle, the little tiny raindrops falling out of the cloud. 54 overnight. Tomorrow, we don't budge much on the temperatures, stay in the mid 50s, maybe upper 50s in a few spots. Wind will be steady, around 15, gusting over 20 miles per hour occasionally. But a cool day of weather. Average high this time of year is in the middle 70s. We're going to be, well short of that, 15 to 20 degrees short of average tomorrow in the temperature department. There's the cool Friday, a little chance for some morning shower, light rain, patchy drizzle type rain on Friday morning. And then Saturday, Texas Independence Day weekend, we get milder. And there's that little rain chance Monday night. Maybe some thunder if all, comes together correctly and we get that energy right at us. But, couple of cooler days of weather. So we'll turn over to the interwebs here and just check in, see if there's any questions, which it doesn't look like there are many. And time now 9:02, so just kind of chilling here. It's a nice kind of calmer period of weather, docile little chances for rain. My advice at this point is to enjoy it while it's here, because before too long, May, June, we're going to be steadily hot, hurricane season, and just, totally transitioning out of any semblance of any cold fronts getting anywhere close to us. So enjoy it while it's here. Weekend looks great. And then that rain chance next week is going to be the forecast that we really try to refine over the next few days. So we'll check in with y'all next time. We'll see y'all.